it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Relax.Cut.Glue. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you guys here with me today. So today we're going to talk about neurographic art. Yes, neurographic art. You guys have seen me post on my Facebook group, my community tab, and my Glue Crew members have seen photos that you guys have not of some of the neurographic art that I have been doing lately. So what is neurographic art? So these are just some of my sketchbooks. This is not neurographic art, sorry. Hold on, let me find. Oh, look at my cute little gnome. Okay, sorry, getting back to the thing. So this is neurographic art. And what it is a creative method that stimulates neural pathways by combining art and psychology. So to sum that up, it's a simple way to work with the subconscious mind through drawing. And it's basically an art meditation to relieve stress. And in short, it's relaxation through art and art therapy. So I've been using this lately as a form of therapy for myself. And the reason why, this is such a meditative process is because you're really thinking about what you're doing and you're just kind of zoned in on what you're doing. So there's lots of different ways to do neurographic art, and I'm going to show you basically what that is here in just a second. But there's lots of different ways. This is, I was practicing a technique and I hated it, so I scrapped this whole page. I know. And then there's this one where I decided I was going to do all these rocks in different colors. And oh my gosh, this little corner here took me so long that I gave up. But I'll come back to it some other day. Then I have ones like this that are very simple. I have ones like this that are a little bit more complex. And let's see, I think, yeah, that's it for this one. And then in this one, I have ones that get a little bit more complex, but also kind of not. I just made a shape. So I did a tree, and then I decided to have the roots going down right here, and I didn't color it, obviously. And then you may have seen this one in my Facebook group. At the very end, you guys, as I was taking my picture, I smudged this corner. I am so mad at myself. And then this next one here is a Glue Crew video, so I don't want to show that because people pay to see that, so that's for them only. And then in this composition notebook, this is kind of my doodle composition notebook. I just do whatever. I take this with me when I go to pick up my son from school, and I just kind of doodle in it. And my original thought was I was going to add magazine images and make it a glue book, but sorry about that. I'm trying to find my neurographic ones in here. Okay, here's one. So here's one that I did that's very time consuming, and they don't have to be like this. I make mine very tiny and time consuming because I like the way that looks and the way it makes me feel when I'm working on it. Where's my other one? Oh, there it is. Then there's this one that combines a bunch of different styles. And I think, oh, there's this one where I colored the background and I hated it, so I did neurographic art over the top. Now here's what's cool. You can do like I did there, where I colored a background first and then did neurographic art over the top of it. Or you can use scrapbook paper and do neurographic art over the top. So like this one, well, okay. Okay, so here's how you basically do neurographic art. It's basically combining, it's like if you took paint and you poured it down and it kind of splashed, it pools in little puddles, right? And there's no sharp edges. It's all round, if you will. So that's what neurographic art, it's the neurons. It's like the neurons in our brain they're connected, and that's what neurographic art is. The same thing. Where's my black? Here it is. So I'm just going to use a black Mr. Sketch marker, and I'm going to show you a couple different ways you can do this. So one of the ways is you literally just kind of sit there and do some little scribbles, little doodles, like that, okay? That's one way to do it. I don't like how this ends right here, so I'm just gonna go like that, off the page. Okay, so that's one way. And then you can go in and color all the different circles. You can color it first and then do your scribbles. But this is where the neurographic part comes into this abstract kind of drawing. So I'm gonna lift this up. So you see like right here, how these are sharp points in the edges. So all we do is you want to round the edges of that. And that's what makes it neurographic. So all you have to do is basically where this point is draw a little C, color in that black part there. And now it makes it where it's more fluid and it's flowing. So I'm gonna do a little C up here. That's the easiest way to make a rounded edge. Now see the difference between this right here and this over here. This has all the little sharp corners. This, they're all connected. This is where the neurons are connecting, right? So as you doodle this, so I would do that, and then I go through, and this is my favorite part of the process, is I just get rid of any sharp lines here, and you make it all rounded. And that way everything is flowing. It's a constant flow. So then after you go in and round all your edges, you can go back in and color. Now you can take it up a notch and then add more things inside of your circles and stuff too. And one of the things I do is, and I'll do this bigger so you can see, but the little circles that you always see me doing. So basically you just add circles and keep going. I'm doing this bigger, obviously, so it takes less time. And you just keep doing that until you fill it up, and then you color in the spaces in between the circles, and then you'll have that kind of effect. When you do it with a smaller pen like this, you see, you get a better effect, a more fine point pen, if you will. So there's a difference with those two. Now this can get really fun, and like I said, you can do all different types of you can do shapes and stuff like that. So like the heart one I did, so I went through and I drew some hearts. Now, if I was smart, I would have colored the hearts first, but when I made this, I wasn't sure I even wanted to color it, right? So we've got hearts. Okay, and then you're gonna start your neurographic. Well, let's just say that my paper is inside this square, okay? This is my little art piece. So then you just start going like this and like this, and you just keep making these squiggly lines. They can be straight too. They don't have to be squiggly. And then I just, you know, kind of go like this. And then, so basically you're making all these lines connect like that, right? And then when you go back through, after you've done all that part, then you go in and you round the edges of every single little solitary thing. And this is where the meditation comes in. You just get lost in the process, and it's so relaxing that you can't stop. And so once you've got, so even these end pieces up here that are going into the edge of my circle, instead of leaving them, let me connect that. Instead of leaving it like this, what I want to do is kind of bring this out, kind of make that kind of half C, just kind of whoop, like that. And then kind of drag it over there too. So see the difference between not finishing off the edge and finishing off the edge? It looks so different. One obviously looks way better than the other. So yeah, and it's really fun. And then, you know, you can also do things like after you've, you know, connected all your dots and stuff, you can go in and doodle. You can just, you know, if you want, go in and add some doodles. You know what I mean? And then, you know, color these in, you know, whatever you want to do. I don't tend to really do that. In one of mine, I did, and I'll show you this one. I saw it in here. This one. So I have all these circles in here, but you can see I added little detail into some of my circles. Now, another thing you can do is you can keep these very simple, or you can make them very extravagant. I tend to go a little bit more extravagant. So I have this circle stencil. It's my absolute favorite. I got it at Michael's craft store. There's tons on Amazon, and I'll link some down below because they're really cheap. So this is what I use sometimes, and I will, you know, make circles, you know, all over the page, maybe different size circles or whatnot. And that's what I did here. There are actual, you see, here's a circle right here, and then I added little circles. Some of these I freehand circles, and some I didn't. And then I just added a bunch of circles, and then eventually when I was done adding my circles, I went in and I did all my, you know, loosey-goosey little lines. And you just really be intuitive about it, be messy, you know, really work this. And the more lines you add here, the more I'm doing here, the more complex and longer it's going to take me to finish. So keep that in mind. So this will take me quite a while, right? Because there's a lot of lines, and now you have to go through. And what I always end up doing is I like to go over my lines a little thicker once I have like it down. So I'll just kind of go around as I'm, you know, curving the edges. There's my little C, and now I'll just color that little piece in, and color that little piece in, and color that. And then I'll, you know, keep going around the circle in little pieces here, and just kind of work step by step. Now, these take time. This isn't a quick project. I had somebody leave me a comment saying I had way too much time on my hands. I don't have a lot of time on my hands, but my dad just died, and this is how I'm processing my feelings, and I just feel a bit numb lately. So this really helps me. And, you know, as I've mentioned before, I feel like all I talk about is all the negative things going on in my life. I have really bad anxiety, and this helps me tremendously. So there's one little part that I've finished, and obviously it's not perfect because I'm, you know, on camera, and nothing's perfect when you're on camera. So this little circle is now finished, and then I would go through and maybe connect this one, and then, you know, you got to add, they can't be sharp edges there, so you have to make sure that it's rounded. And oh my gosh, okay. This is so much easier when I'm in a, you know, meditative state, I guess. I don't know. It's so weird because you don't realize that you're just zoning out until you're zoning out. So like at night, my kids have been really into playing Mario Brothers on the Wii in the living room, which is so old, but they just have a blast. And my kids are 7.5 years apart, you guys. My oldest is 22. My youngest will be 15 in 3 weeks. So it's fun to have something that they can kind of do together. So I put on my headphones and I listen to music while I do this, and I sit in the living room. I have a little lap desk, and I just sit there and I just continue to do this. And I've been doing it, like I said, in my composition notebook, which I really like because none of these were supposed to be perfect. None of them were supposed to be super arty. I was just zoning out and drawing, essentially, is what this was. And then, you know, like this probably took me a couple days. I do them over time. I don't rush it. And if they take me 3 days, they take me 3 days. I just, whenever I have a free moment is when I work on it. And sometimes when I pick up Jackson from school, I'll go a little bit early. And, well, every time I do this because I have a fear of being late, anxiety, like really bad fear. So I bring this and I sit in the car and I roll down the windows and I let the wind blow, and I don't listen to I put my phone down and I do not use my phone at all. And I just enjoy the moment because my whole life is revolved around basically social media, right? Like this is my job, and I'm on my phone all the time, and as we all are with all the different apps in our lives. And it's nice to be able to just take a break, and don't rush yourself. Like I said, these don't happen overnight. They will take more time. And that's what I think is so neat about them, because once you're done, I mean, once you're done to look at this and go, oh my gosh, I did that, you know, like it took me forever, but I did it. So, and then I have like this little postcard. So yeah, not only making the neurographic art, not only is that part fun, but coloring it in is very fun too. And sometimes I will color in before before I like do my final drawing like I am right now. So I would go in and kind of color this stuff first if I wanted to color it. You don't have to color it. You can leave them black and white. I leave a lot of mine black and white actually, for several reasons. One, I really like the black and white look, and two, maybe I just didn't feel like, you know, coloring that one in at the moment. And you can always go back. Some of them I've gone back to that I've done, you know, a long time ago or even a week ago, and you know, now I'm ready to color it in. So yeah, it's just really, really relaxing. And if you're not into this whole like meditation type thing, then just forget that that's a thing. But I think that you'll find when you're doing this that it is very meditative. It's hard for me to talk and do this at the same time, to be honest, because I'm so used to like just zoning out. But one of the things I did the other day was I added little beads to my little lines here. So I went through and I added little circles to all of these, and that looked really cool. So that was kind of fun too. So you can do things like that. Like in one of these, if I wanted to, I could add, like, how about this one? I'll add my little circles that I was talking about that I like to do quite a bit. I get really anal sometimes with my circles if they're not perfect. You don't need to be that way. That's just how I am. And I think it's part of the process for me, is I enjoy making them round and perfect-ish. But there, so you add, you know, little circles in there. So that is neurographic art. It's art therapy. Like this one, I actually drew this one a while ago and then finished it. I actually did so I drew the original photo, and then I've left it for a couple of months, and then I went back and did all the line and made it all round and outlined it and then colored in the circles or the hearts. This one, I don't know if I'll color in because I'm terrified that I'll ruin it. So I'll probably scan it and then color it in. But yeah, it's really fun. So use any kind of markers that you want. I have this little bin here that I take with me, and all that's in here is a pack of Mr. Sketch markers. Because I like the big chunky, I wanted something chunky. And then in here, the rest is all Crayola Super Tips. And that's what I'll use to color in my composition notebook, just for kind of playing around. All right, everyone, that's all I have for you today. I just want to say thank you so much for stopping by and learning about neurographic art. It's a passion of mine, and I really, really love it. These are great to use as backgrounds for your glue book, to rip them up and use in collage. You can use these as a card base. I mean, your options are endless. It's art, so you can use it everywhere. And don't forget that this is a slow process. It's also a very easy process, and it can be very hard depending on how you make your squiggle lines. So you can make them very in-depth. Like this wouldn't take you very long. It kind of looks like it, but it would take you longer than it would take to do this. This I could get done in a few minutes. And then these are really great for kids too, because, you know, you can do some squiggles and then they can just color inside all the little spaces. And that's what I used to do when I first started out years ago, is I would do this and then color in all the little spaces, and that's what was very therapeutic to me. So have fun with it. Please feel free to put any kind of questions that you have about neurographic art that I have not covered in the video down below in the comment section, and I will get back to you. I'm sure I've missed a couple things, and I'll think about it later. If I do, I will let you guys know. But until then, I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Until next time, bye.